Hello everyone, welcome back to another video learn tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at basic chroma keying, or also known as green screening. Now green screening or chroma keying is basically the process of taking a background color and removing that color from the video. So I'll show you in a bit more detail in a sec, you'll get a better idea as I'm showing you. Okay, first off we want to create a new composition. Also, second off, apologies if you can hear my dogs going mad. So what we do, we go right click the project window and we'll go to new composition. In here we'll check that our width and height are the right width and height to match our video, as well as our frame rate, which it is, as well as the duration. So now we've done that, we have our blank composition. What we'll do next is we'll drag in our footage. In this case it's me and a bunch of friends of mine just doing some footage in front of a green screen. So we'll drag this onto our timeline. We'll line it up with our pinhead. I keep calling it pinhead, it probably isn't, but never mind. So now we've got that, what we want to do next is do a rough cut. So basically what a rough cut is just running around these edges just roughly. So basically we don't have any of this in the background after we do our chroma keying. So what we want to do is click the pen tool. We want to go start outside the video, mainly just because his legs are here, and we'll just sort of cut round everything we don't need. So in this case we'll just quickly rough cut round the green screen itself, and then rough cut round the legs of the green screen, come out here and then back to there. So there's our rough cut finished. So now all we need to do is carry on with our green screening. So what we want to do is look over in the effects and presets, and I've actually, funnily enough, already typed it in, but if you search for something called Keylight, that's the keying plugin we're going to be using for this. So if we click and drag that on top of the video footage, we see this effects controls pop up in the left hand side. So what we want to do is we want to see where we see screen color, it's currently set to black, but if we click the eyedropper tool and select a pretty uniform area of the green screen, once we click it, it'll instantly get rid of everything of that color on the green screen. Now if you had a green screen that wasn't creased like ours was actually like stored for about a month or two before, and it was folded, so we had a lot of creases in ours. But on yours, if you use this uniformly and you have like decent lighting and everything, you won't get a lot of this at all. But it's easily sort of taken out, even if you do, by using something called screen gain over here. So if we just click to expand that and just turn it up slightly, you can see that most of it's gone now. So all we've got is really our main character here, who happens to be my friend Ed. So if we do a quick RAM preview, you can see what the finished effect is, and I'll pause it here and I'll come back once it's finished. Just don't do the. So there's the finished effect in a nutshell, really. The reason the audio is clipping, I think, is because my computer can't handle sort of running the effects as well as running OBS recording the effects, if that makes sense. So you shouldn't have that problem on your own computers, whatever. But if you do run into any problems, then just give me a comment or give me a message on the website. So what I recommend doing now is if we want to sort of refine this edge a little bit just to make it look a bit nicer, I'd recommend doing the following first, which is creating a new solid and making it a bold striking color like red, and then dragging that underneath. And the reason we do this is it allows us to sort of see the edge a lot better. It sort of allows us to sort of determine what is supposed to be black and what's not supposed to be black, kind of thing. Being is our main character here is dressed in like a black suit, So we do this and it just allows us to distinguish the edge a lot easier. So if we click back our video here, as you can see, it's a little bit jaggedy on the edges. It's not quite sort of perfect. So what we can do is, after we've adjusted the screen gain like we did before, we can actually use something called Screen Matte. Now, Screen Matte has a load of little handy tweaks we can use, but the one we're interested in is Clip Black. And Clip Black basically allows us to sort of refine like the black tones in the video. So doing that allows us to remove a lot of the dark edges and the jagged edges here, so we can sort of go mad with it and go sort of all the way to here. Almost, see on his leg there, it's a little bit, it's starting to clip through a tiny bit, so we want to sort of, I think round about there seems good. So if we then RAM preview that, once again I'll come back once it's finished. Okay, we're almost done again. Just don't do the... So you see, after doing that, the edge is a lot cleaner and a lot sort of crisper. Now, we can get this better than this, but this is something that I'll cover in the next video. Being as it sort of deserves its own video on its own, because it's a little bit involved, not too difficult, but just as a few steps we can do to sort of make that better. So that's basically it, to be honest. What you can do, instead of having this red solid here, you can have something like a picture background. So if I get rid of that and just no, let's, ooh, there we go. I'll just quickly grab a random background I've used in the past, like something a bit more generic. That'll do. So if we drag this on, this is just a wallpaper I found on Tinterwebs. So we drag that into the project, and then we'll drag that underneath here. So as you can see, the edge isn't quite perfect. Whereas this is something we'll be looking at in the next video. So if we just quickly just do a basic sort of run over of that, this will run a lot faster for you, being as sort of I'm recording and capturing at the same time. But yeah, so that's sort of the finished effect right there. You can have any sort of footage you'd like in the background. You can have video, sort of it to replace where this picture is. You can actually have a video instead. And also in a later video, I'll be covering sort of how to keyframe the rough cut like you did earlier, because at the moment, when he gets to a certain point in the video, see here, he actually clips outside of the confines of it, whereas you can actually keyframe that to keyframe around it. But again, this is another thing that I'll cover in a future video. So that's about it for this video, for this sort of basic overview of keyframing, sort of give you a rough idea how to get yourself going with it. In the next video, like I said, we'll be covering more advanced techniques to refine these edges further, and sort of how to render your video after you've finished. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, everybody.